Good morning, beloveds. It's early, but I've got the time to do it now. And then that way I'm not doing it really late and, possibly interfering with David. So it is January 17th. Our title is, I Know That I Live in the Changeless Reality. The first quote is, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. 1 John 2:17. And the horde of evil passions cannot tarry here even for a moment. And that is hymns of the Mahayana faith. All that is with you passeth away, but that which is with God abideth. And that is from the Quran. Neither the will of God nor the nature of God can change. Reality is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That which is, and that which was, is, and that which is will remain. Humanity's nature is spiritual. The only thing about them that can change is that which ought not be permanent. We are changeless beings living in a changing world. Thus, all of our experiences are bound together on a thread of continuity, which Lowell did claim, the thread of the all-sustaining beauty, which runs through all and doth all unite. It is wonderful to know that something permanent, substantial, and eternal stands in the midst of our being, and I believe watches with joy the eternal changes taking place. To the spirit, these changes are merely variations of experience. The spirit is never caught, tied, or bound. Ugliness may seem to exist for a brief moment, but beauty, like truth, endures forever. All that is evil passes, as our hymns of faith says. It cannot exist even for a moment when faced by the divine reality. Everything that we now experience objectively will change as it ought to. But that which is with God of good abideth. I know that I live in a changeless reality. I am not disturbed by the passage of time, the movement around me, nor the variations of experience through which I go. Something within me remains immovable and says, be still and know that I am God. This I am, which is God within me, is substantial, changeless, and perfect. And this is one of those readings where I'm kind of like, I get it, but what can you say about it? In all reality, what can you say about it? The changeless reality. It goes back to a very basic principle of science of mind, in that the material world is all ideas of God. So, and the ideas are constantly, which is where we get the circle V. So the ideas are constantly, I have it in the bookmark here. The circle V. So ideas are constantly coming from idea, moving through the law and into form. But you can see that's the reason why there's a V. So they're coming down and then promptly going back up. And that's what we talk, when we talk about changeless reality, that's what we're talking about. The idea of never changes. But things are constantly moving from idea through the law into form. But form doesn't last. It never lasts. It can't. We can talk about physics and all that, and we can talk about decay. Some things just decay much more slowly than others. And so things are constantly moving down and then moving back into form. Or moving back into ideas, and then they come back, but they never look quite the same. So the changeless reality is the idea, and then form is where change happens. The experience is all of this, where all of this takes place, and where we come down and have these experiences and learn. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, life is a laboratory. We are here to experience, we are here to experiment, we are here to learn, and then we take everything that we've learned back with us. What happens after that, nobody knows. And that's part of the challenge. But what makes it interesting is that we know that we have something we know that we have something to go back to. We know that there's something within us that doesn't change. There's something that the idea of us that came into form and will go back into the idea of us will never change. The form of us will change. And that's, one of the laws of thermodynamics is energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It merely changes form. Same with us. So, changeless reality. All right. So that is the title. I know that I live in a changeless reality. So we're talking about God, the divine mind, the divine idea. That's the changeless reality. Because everything that could exist already does in there, in the divine idea, in the divine mind, in spirit, in God. And that's what all three of the quotes do. John, as the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. So that's John 1 John 2:17, and then the hymns of the Mahayana faith, and the horde of evil passions cannot tarry here even for a moment. I'm guessing what that's saying is, because Ernest mentions it further down. What happens here, all of those emotions and passions and things like that, probably we're not going to take those back with us. We don't know for sure. And then the Quran, all that is with you passeth away, but that which is with God abideth. Okay. And that was my text message. Okay, so neither the will of God nor the nature of God can change. This we believe. Reality is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And yesterday, today, and forevermore are in quotes, so probably from the Bible. That which was and that which is will remain. God's nature, so humanity's nature is spiritual. So that's what we understand, is that humanity is... Hi, baby. Sorry, ultimate distraction. My old man came in to see me and is promptly walking right back out. Okay, so humanity's nature is spiritual. We are in a material form, but the core of us is a divine idea. The only thing about us that can change is that which ought not be permanent, our form. We are changeless beings living in a changing world because everything is constantly coming from idea into form, going back into idea. The changing world. Thus, all of our experiences are bound together on a thread of continuity. A couple of days ago, somebody mentioned pearls on a string. I took a class taught by Amit Goswami, and it was on the concept of reincarnation, the Buddhist concept, or the Hindu concept of reincarnation. And that's kind of what he described it as pearls on a string. Lives are pearls on a string, but the thread, that string running through, is God. Okay, so thus all of our experiences are bound together on a thread of continuity, which Lowell calls, open quote, the thread of the all-sustaining beauty, which runs through all and doth all unite, close quote. Pearls on a string. We are literally pearls on a string. The idea of pearls on a string. It is wonderful to know that something permanent, substantial, and eternal stands in the midst of our being, and, I believe, watches with joy the eternal change taking place. Something permanent stands in the midst of our being and watches with joy the change is taking place. Because we are here to learn. We are here to live. We are here to experience. To the spirit, these changes are merely variations in experience. The spirit is never caught, tied, or bound. Because the spirit can't change. So, wonderful experiences and awful experience cannot change the base nature of spirit. The core of you is untouched. Ugliness may seem to exist for a brief moment, but beauty, like truth, endures forever. All that is evil passes. As our hymns of faith say, it cannot exist for even a moment when faced by the divine reality. Everything that we now experience objectively will change as it ought to, open quote, but that which is with God, bracket, of good, abideth, close quotes. So, I know that I live in a changeless reality. I am not disturbed by the passage of time, the movement around me, nor the variation of experience through which I go. Something within me remains immovable and says, be still and know that I am God. The soul of you is God, which is why you are a beloved child of God, because the soul of you is God. It may be a tiny part of God, but it's still God. So you are loved no matter what. This I am, which is God within me, is substantial, changeless, and perfect. It's whole, and so are you. All right, beloveds, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to not be disturbed by the passage of time, the movements around us, or the variations of experience that go through us. I mean, he gave us kind of a clear one today, because it's all good. It's all good. And even when it appears to not be, in the end, it will be. Sometimes we just have to have faith and know that there's a part of us that nothing can touch. Nothing but love, which is what we're made up of. So, and there's a quote that goes around periodically that says, in the end, it'll be okay. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. So, all right, beloveds, I'm going to go and make the final rounds and preps and pack my book and get on out of here so that I can go and do this panel. And yeah. All right, beloveds, take care of yourself and, do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. For me today, it was to get up and go for a walk. Yeah, it's 31 degrees out there, but I needed that walk before I spend all day dealing with airports and airplanes and, travel and what have you. So, please take care of yourself. Please do that loving, kind, compassionate thing for yourself, whatever it is. If it's small, if it's big, it doesn't matter. Just please practice. It is a spiritual practice, and it is a habit that I would like you to create, so that it becomes your default setting, it becomes your first response, so that no matter what happens, what various experience you have, you can respond to yourself and others with love, with kindness, with compassion. Because at the core of your being, that is who you are. All right, beloveds. I would also encourage you to engage your mind and your body. Go get that face full of sun, which I did. Which is why I'm this morning, awake and wired, and drink plenty of water. All right, beloveds. It is, cat distracted me. Open the windows to your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around you, all the time. It's up to us to look for the good and praise it. So, have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, an enchanting day, a magical day, a fantastic day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. All right, beloveds. I will do these while I am in California. I'll figure it out. I'm just not going to promise about the timing. But know that you're loved. Know that I will figure it out and do this. And you can always catch us on the social medias, all right? There was a good service yesterday. It's already up on YouTube. And we've got a great one coming on Wednesday. So, I'm going to stop talking now. All right? Much love. See you next time.